Okay, good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. This is the first video for the new semester, Spring 24, and the class is Communication Studies 104, Critical Thinking and Public Argument. That's what we're doing here. My name is Donovan Conley, and I will be your instructor this semester, online instructor. I do exist in real life, I assure you, and I would love for anyone to come by and say hi at some point this semester. We'd love to meet you in person. Today I'm just going to be talking about the class, looking at the syllabus, talking about what you're going to be encountering over the next 15 weeks. And I'll try to do that in about 10 or 15 minutes. And we will proceed. So first of all, my name is Donovan Conley. As mentioned, I am an associate professor in the Department of Communication Studies. My claim to fame these days is that I am now the longest serving member of our department. Everyone else who's in the department, I either was on their search committee or they came in after me. So yeah, I've been here since 2004. So this is my 20-year anniversary, believe it or not. And I have sure enjoyed working in this department and being at this university and seeing it grow and evolve and develop and improve. And here we are. So happy to be teaching this class. This is actually the very first time that I will be doing critical thinking and public argument. I actually helped conceptualize this class many years ago. We came up with the idea for this class as a way to offer students across campus another alternative to the philosophy critical thinking class, because this is a gen ed requirement, critical thinking, as it should be. And up until recently, philosophy was the only game in town for the critical thinking class. And I don't know if anyone's ever taken a critical thinking class in philosophy, but it's very different. It's very like logic driven. And so there's a lot of almost like math kind of mathematics kind of approaches to thinking about reasoning and logic and so on. We thought, hey, why don't we offer a slightly different version of critical thinking that's more about, well, here is in the title, public argument. So we're thinking about the role of critical thinking in the public and sort of everyday life as we're living our lives, as we're going about kind of reading newspapers or encountering stuff online or engaging in arguments, debates, and so on, like to be better at processing information, to be better at composing information, to become better at developing positions and beliefs, right? So the gist of this class is really about helping us to become better kind of consumers and producers of messages through a kind of critical lens. So there's going to be a lot of emphasis on, evaluating arguments, evaluating sources, and picking things apart and seeing sort of what's working and how and what's not working and how. Ultimately, so that you can produce arguments, messages that have been kind of tested and verified, and that you have a better sense of like strong versus not strong, right? So anyway, I was talking about myself, a little intro there. As I said, I've been in this department for 20 years. Originally, I'm from Canada. I'm still Canadian. This year is the year that I have to renew my green card. After 10 years of having a green card, I have to renew it. I'm thinking about going the naturalization route, but I still have the fondness for Canada, even though I haven't lived there in quite some time. Anyway, I've been doing this for quite a while. I really enjoy this stuff. So this is the first time that I'm teaching this class, but it's not the first time that I'm teaching this stuff, right? So I've been teaching argumentation classes. I taught a critical thinking class in the Honors College a while back. I've taught, public debate kind of stuff, argumentation and debate, a lot of related stuff. My main thing is rhetoric and like critical rhetoric and kind of cultural studies kind of stuff. So this is right, in line with stuff that I've been teaching and writing about for quite some time. I'm very comfortable with the material. However, what's unique about this semester, for me at least, is that this is the first time I'm teaching both 104, but also this like package. So over the break, I was supposed to be teaching a second section of 409, that's the rhetorical tradition, but we didn't have enough students enrolled in the second section, so I quickly had to pick up this section of 104 because there's more demand for 104. And so I started working on the syllabus as kind of trying to like make it my own. I was going through the stuff that had been done before, and I was making some changes. And then about a week ago, I received the syllabus from Rachel Allen. Has kind of been in charge of this show, the 104 show, and she sent the syllabus, and I got access to the online shell. Right, it's just all there, and I quickly realized that I can't really make changes to this class because everything's so like interconnected, right? So I decided, instead of doing my own thing, which I usually make a class my own, my readings, my assignments, my approach, my themes and so on, but I decided I'm just going to teach this class as it has been designed and built up until recently, right? And so I'm not changing anything. I made that decision. So on the one hand, I'm very comfortable with the material that we're going to be reading and learning about, and all the concepts and the theories. I'm all good with all that. This online environment is a fair bit different than the online classes that I've been doing. I'm an old guy at this point, as I mentioned. I've been doing this for a while, and I was one of the first people in our department that started doing online courses going back to like early 2000s. I was creating online classes. And I did it in a very kind of minimalist way. And so I've been doing this for quite some time, but my usual approach is to just like have basically one page with all of the content on it so that it looks more or less like the schedule in the syllabus. Just one page with all the readings and the assignments and the links, and just sort of work your way from top to bottom. But things have gotten a lot more elaborate, going through the pandemic and so on. And now I discovered, as I went into the 104 class, as it has been built, that everything's very interconnected. And there's lots of links and things going back and forth, and pages and PowerPoint slides and readings that are all linked in. And it's all very, I think, user-friendly for the students. But it means that like it's hard to make any adjustments because you're kind of affecting everything. And so to change anything is to kind of change everything. So I decided I'm just going to teach this class as it has been designed, not change anything, which means that I'm kind of learning about the class along with you as I'm teaching it. But like I said, I have a command of the material. It's just I'm still learning about how to move through the online environment, because I said it's a lot more elaborate and a lot more built out than what I'm used to. But if you guys are good with the build, and if this is familiar to you, and if it works well, and if it's easy to navigate, then I'm happy. And then it's just a matter of me kind of bringing myself up to speed, because like I said, I'm a little bit out of date in terms of some of the new online design processes. Nevertheless, I will just talk a little bit about the class and what to expect, and we will get rolling. So I'm recording this video on Martin Luther King Day. Class has not officially started this semester yet, but as of, end of today and starting tomorrow, Tuesday, we are kind of officially getting going. So there's a few things that we want to be doing right off the bat. First of all, as always, please just make sure that you actually print off this thing. Tuck it away in your main notebook or binder or whatever you use, but, or just have it next to your computer. It's always handy to be able to kind of flip through this thing, read through the course description. Again, this is about becoming better, sharper, stronger critical thinkers, critical reasoners, and developers and composers of arguments, whether they be written or verbal, whether we're engaging in conversations with friends, colleagues, just strangers out in the world, whatever. But there's that realm of the public, when we leave our homes, when we leave our offices maybe, and we're just sort of engaging with public messaging that's coming from news sources or media sources, narratives on screens and so on, how characters in movies, make arguments, and are they believable, and what are the kind of mechanics going on there. That's really what we're interested in here. There's only 3 units or modules. An earlier version of this class had like 5, but basically it's like the first unit is about like an intro to critical thinking. And information literacy, and then we move into evaluating and constructing arguments, and there we're going to look a little bit at the Toulmin model. And then finally, the third unit is about crafting your own arguments, okay? And so we're just going to be kind of moving slowly, starting simple, building kind of the foundations, starting out by thinking about, what is critical thinking at all in the first place, and then what are the components of arguments, and how do we think about arguments, and how do we analyze arguments. I had a bunch of good readings that I've used over the years that I started to build into the syllabus when I was working on it independently. And I've had to sort of, that was the down part of deciding to just go with the class as is. I had to get rid of my own readings. But I can bring in little concepts and mentions along the way. By and large, I think we'll be well served by the readings and the concepts. It's a lot of articles and essays and little short pieces that have been kind of pulled in from different directions. But it's really about those kind of basic concepts. And we're just, again, we're kind of working slow, we're working simple, we're kind of building as we go from super simple and basic to a little bit more elaborate. And the ultimate goal here is the final assignments are about crafting arguments in terms of like an op-ed type thing. You every morning as I'm drinking my coffee in my office, I pull up the New York Times, I read the headlines, the important stories, what's going on, what's new, what's tragic. There's always something really, depressing. But then I work my way to the op-ed section, the editorials and the opinions. There's staff writers that work at the New York Times and they crank out editorials like 1 or 2 times a week. And then there's like opinion people who come in from wherever, guest editors and so on. But in my opinion, those are some of the most engaging and sharply crafted, whether or not you agree, they're well-crafted positions, right? And that's kind of where we're going in this class, is to be able to analyze and produce that kind of argumentation. Let's see here. Syllabus, learning outcomes, great. There is a required text called Think Again. I just heard from a student that it's not going to be available for a little bit. So we'll make do, not to stress. You don't have to go run around and freak out and find some alternative. We'll take care of you. We'll figure it out one way or the other. This is the little snafu that comes with having me drop into this section only a few weeks ago, right? So normally we have to order the books well in advance. So I might have to do some fancy footwork. I'll look into that and we'll get you figured out. In terms of some of the class policies, I'll let you read through all of this on your own. We actually have a syllabus quiz, which this is a new one for me. So there's a syllabus quiz, and it's going to be on Sunday. So this is basically now requiring you to go through the syllabus, to look it over, to understand what's going on, because there's going to be a quiz on this on Sunday. So please do go through it. I feel like the quiz is an easy layup kind of situation, just like you can even have your syllabus right there next to you and some easy points to start things off. But, some of the important things from my perspective are office hours. My experience recently is that students in online classes never, ever come to office hours in person, which is a major bummer. I get the convenience. I get all of the arguments about online education because it's convenience. It works around your schedule. You can dip in, you can dip out. But we have to acknowledge that it is way worse to not have in-person, face-to-face conversations. I will die on this hill. It's worse. So I would love for you guys to come in and say hi. Come into my office hours. Come just chat. Obviously ask questions about the class or assignments or chat about whatever. Just come talk, come pop in. So my office hours, my kind of set scheduled office hours are Mondays from 10 a.m. to noon. I teach a grad seminar on Mondays starting at 4 o'clock. So I know for a fact I'll be coming to campus on Mondays. I'll probably come one other day, maybe Thursdays. But I would say for the rest of it, if you wanted to meet and have an office hour type meeting, we'll just set up a Zoom appointment. So I am flexible with Zoom or Google or whatever. It's just better to meet in person. It's better to have face-to-face interactions. I actually asked to teach an in-person class last semester because I hadn't actually met any undergraduates in person for about 4 years up until last semester. So I taught one section in class and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed getting to meet and know a group of students over the course of 15 weeks because in these online things, all it is just emails and names. I don't have there's no images, so that's a bit of a bummer. I believe this class, the way that it's designed, is meant to be more interactive and more participatory. So we will get to know each other a little bit, but please come by. Please say hi. Please get to know, come in, let's get to know each other. It's just nice. So office hours are Mondays for 10 to noon. But I'm flexible. I'm around. So if you can't make that time or if you can't come in or whatever, just let me know. Shoot me an email. We'll set up a time to chat. Happy to do it. So in terms of the method of instruction, there's a lot of information in the Canvas shell. So follow the syllabus, map your way around, spend some time exploring the course in Canvas. Each week there's going to be equivalent of like 2 lessons, right? And so normally in a week you have a Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, and then you have maybe a couple of readings for one class and a couple of readings for the next class, and each of them has like themes or whatever, or maybe they're the same theme for the whole week. That's kind of the approach that we're going to take here. So we're going by weeks, and there's the equivalent of like 2 class periods worth of content, which means there's either like a couple of short readings or maybe one longer reading. Basically not much more than that. This is not a reading heavy class, right? But this is an engagement heavy class, right? So the design of this class is so that you will be in the shell, in Canvas, watching the videos, because there will be videos just like this each week. I'm going to be creating videos for the week's content. So you're going to be watching the videos, you're going to be doing the readings before you watch the videos, and then any kind of supplementary stuff. I believe that Rachel built a whole bunch of PowerPoint slides. So that's bonus for you, because when I teach my own classes, I don't do PowerPoints. I hate them. But there's a lot of PowerPoint slides that correspond with the reading. So there's a lot of there's a lot of materials here to supplement and to support the readings and the lectures. I think you're going to be well situated in terms of the content and, it's already 16 minutes. I always say 10 to 15 minutes and always end up being more like 15, 20. So bear with me here. Late work policy, grade disputes, grading. Please read that on your own. Plagiarism and artificial intelligence. My experience, being on Instagram and so on, is that people are very aware of where videos come from. There's a lot of calling people out or shaming people if they take someone's video and just sort of pass it off of their own. The giving credit it's a very common thing online in social media. Give it credit. Give the original creator of that video credit. Why? Because they get likes, and there's a value associated with likes and shares and all the rest of it, right? So people online are very concerned about credit. Well, that's what we're talking about with plagiarism and AI type stuff, is if you're getting stuff from somewhere else, then you credit it. If it's not yours, if you didn't come up with this string of words, or if you didn't come up with this string of ideas and someone else did and you're using it, great, cool. We all do that. My articles are loaded up with sources. I'm giving credit. This is where I found this. This is where I got this. Credit, credit, credit. That's the spirit of the enterprise here, right? By all means, borrow. Just acknowledge and credit the stuff that you're borrowing, right? Passing stuff off as your own that's not your own, that's where we get into trouble. And that's where the AI stuff becomes really tricky, is because it's getting harder and harder to spot that stuff, right? But trust me, I have used these AI tools. I use them in my own research and writing. They're useful to kind of generate possibilities, try out ideas, right? This is the way I use Wikipedia. I use Wikipedia a lot. I just read through it, but it's not the end point. Okay, these are user-driven kinds of things. These are not necessarily verified by authorities kind of things. So you need to continue to verify. If you use Wikipedia and you get some interesting information there, check the sources or go verify, corroborate. These AI tools are really cool and powerful and dynamic, but they spit out a lot of crap. Trust me, they spit out a lot of nonsense. So you need to verify, and you cannot just pass this stuff off as your own. I have failed students on assignments for passing off ChatGPT answers as their own. You can't do it, right? You can use them to help you, to assist you, but you cannot then claim that that's you, okay? So be careful there, please. Let's see, preparing for online class, late work, grade disputes, grading, yep. All right, so the assignments, we got just a couple quizzes. We have some participation activities. I think there's like an intro video that you need to put together. Let's see here. Intro video and responses due on Sunday. So yes, you're going to do a little intro video, kind of like what I'm doing here, but much shorter. And then you have a syllabus quiz, and those are due by this Sunday, the 21st, January 21st. Next week, we're going to start doing the readings, and we're going to get into the content. And then after that, a week later, on the January 28th, that's a week after this Sunday, there is a public argument topic and worksheet due. All right, so we're going to get going on your topic. So in this semester, in this class, you're going to be developing an argument on a topic. Well, what topic do you want to talk about? Do you want to engage in, right? Gun control, I don't know, drug abuse, homelessness. We have a lot of issues and topics that are really hot and important right now. The war in the Ukraine, right? Technology, surveillance, privacy issues, on and on and on. Waste, food waste, the environment. Oh my goodness, there's so many possibilities. So that's that, all right? And then we're going to get into analyzing research, analyzing arguments, analyzing sources. So there's this research bracket challenge, which is sort of like a round robin tournament kind of idea, but it's like, what are the strongest sources? And that's an analysis evaluation type assignment. And then we move into developing your own. So that's the culmination of this semester. It's just developing arguments, building your own position and case. But we're going to kind of work there slowly. All right, so that's probably pretty good. We're already at 20 minutes. You can look through the schedule. If you have questions, please reach out. This big QR code on the back is replacing those long pages of policies. This will take you straight to the university policies. You need to know them. And like I said, there will be a syllabus quiz this Sunday. And it should be super easy. Just, read through the quiz or this. My goodness, sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm a little slow mentally here. So read through the syllabus, take the quiz. Just familiarize yourself with the class. Familiarize yourself with the syllabus. Familiarize yourself with Canvas. There's a few little tweaks I still need to make in terms of stuff that's carrying over from the previous version of this class. Some little changes I need to make. So bear with me as this thing, it's going to evolve a little bit. If there's stuff that doesn't make sense, by all means, reach out, ask me the questions. I can't guarantee I'm going to get everything perfect here because this is not my build. This is not my class that I've built. There's like little nooks and crannies that I'm still discovering. I'm going to do my best to, guide us through this. And like I said, I feel very confident about the material. It's just getting a little bit comfortable with the environment and how everything's laid out. But it looks like it's laid out quite with users in mind, right? And so, you have the course schedules all in there with lots of links. Take you where you need to go in terms of the content. So please do just read through the syllabus. Just make sure that you're knowing what we're doing each week. This is not a class that you can just check out from and dip in every few weeks. You will perish, right? So you need to be in the Canvas shell a couple, 2, 3, 4 times a week. That's the advised way to do it. Stay attentive, stay engaged. If you're struggling, reach out. Just don't disappear. Do not disappear. If you're struggling for whatever reason, just say, "Hey, Dr. Connolly, I'm not getting it, or I'm struggling with this or that," and we'll get you back on track. All right. So I want everyone to have a really lovely experience, learn some new stuff, meet some folks, and hopefully sharpen up your critical sensibilities because we have a messy environment of messaging out there, and we need to all get a little better, a little stronger at processing and developing our position. So that's our goal here. Looking forward to getting to meet everyone and chatting with you. And I hope you have a great time in COM 104 this semester. And I'll be chatting with you soon. All right, take care.